Well, it was Children's Day at the Marshfield Fair, and that made for the perfect opportunity for us to sit down with some of our favorite authors and discuss the inspiration behind their incredible stories. Well, you might know Christy Cashman from her time in Hollywood, or even know her from her beautiful castle that her and her husband have in Ireland. But what you probably don't know is that she is an accomplished book author, and Petrie's next things, well, that's what we're chatting about today. Christy Cashman is joining me, and we have her children's book, which is great, but she's a writer of all kinds. You have a novel coming out, The Truth About Horses,
Yep.
And then you have this one, which is, I haven't read this one yet, The Not So Average Monkey of
Yep.
Kilkea Castle.
Correct.
And this is
This is
him.
Petrie. This is Petrie, the monkey who is portrayed in my book here. And the other one is Petrie's Next Things.
Ah, so what was the inspiration behind Petrie getting his own book? I mean, that's pretty
Well,
cool.
it's actually, I was talking to a friend of mine who owns a hotel on Nantucket.
Okay.
And she had visited our property in Ireland. And she said, Christy, you're a writer. You know, you have this amazing property. You really need to write a children's book about, there is a real story about the monkey in Kilkea Castle. And he actually is saved, apparently, as they say, like from 700 years ago, saved kids from a fire that was happening in the castle. So, so she said, you have the whole kind of, you know, all the tools. Why don't you just write a children's book and you should sell it at the gift store? So that's how it started. And what I found out is I really enjoyed writing them.
I call him Snuffy because he's like Snuffleupagus. He's just.
That's what I call Victor.
No way.
Snuffleupagus. He could care less.
Well, I'm glad you've made.
And I have.
You've made Petrie like lovable because the thought of a haunting monkey terrifies me. Like as you were describing that, I'm thinking, what more terrifying of a story for a child than having a monkey chasing you down and in a castle? Which, by the way, do you notice if it's haunted? Has to be.
Oh, it is for sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I feel like spirits there, but I think they're good. Like
Okay.
I think they're cool spirits. I think they're good with us being there.
Have you had official people come in and take the reins and give you like a report, some type of spiritual medium or anything like that?
No, but the first night that we spent the night there, I mean, literally the paint was still drying because we renovated.
Yeah.
The paint was still drying on the walls. The wall sconces had barely been up, and my husband and I are in the room, which is like on the fourth floor. It's considered the honeymoon suite, and we were in there, and the armoire started shaking. And
Goodness.
yeah, I'm not kidding. It was like I've always said I don't believe in ghosts, but that sort of changed my perspective. Anyway, back to Petrie. No. Good segue.
The haunted, this not so scary monkey.
Not so scary.
So you put the book together, and
So then, but meanwhile, I was writing this, The Truth About Horses.
Yep.
And in a writing class, I remember somebody telling me that it's a real talent and a skill to be able to write a children's book, because if you can write a children's book and condense your story and what your purpose is and get your world there, your characters, and have something happen in that world, then it's a great exercise for writing a novel.
Right.
And so I kind of did it for that reason as well, just to almost see if I could. But also a story really did come to me in a meaningful kind of purposeful way for the little monkey.
I'm hearing like the chainsaws,
I
and I'm thinking a
know.
monkey with a chainsaw. Or
Jeez.
I'm very sensitive
Thanks.
these
I'm not
days,
going to
but-
sell any books now when you're talking about
But
monkeys and
it's very a kind.
We just basically
Petrie
may
is-
as well just put a pin in it.
road expert.
Well, just because I have the Nigerian works, but I remember, and we had goats when I was growing up. Excuse me, guys, we're just gonna
You almost get hit by a cow. Cow.
Did you catch that?
Cow, yeah. Cow crossing. That's what the dangers at the fair. You never know. You gotta watch out. I'm just looking.
She needs to be in the tree.
Oh, yeah.
You have a senior knitting and showmanship class, Woodland.
So cute.
Second to Owen Weagle. Third to Hamilton Dow.
Okay, so, but the idea of having a children's book and every word being real precious because
Yeah,
it's so
yeah.
short,
Right.
unlike a novel where not that you waste words, but you
Right.
have a lot more leeway to sort of play around.
Yeah.
You have to be very quick and to the point.
It's very true, yeah.
So that must have been harder in the editing process, right? I mean, did you feel like you have to keep carving away at it, or?
For the children's book
Yeah.
or the novel?
Well, the children's book, like
Yeah.
maybe a publisher or your friend or the writing partner or whatever says you need to trim it down by 50 words
So
or
I
30
did have an
pages.
editor look at the children's book before I took it to print, and she definitely had, she wanted to rearrange some words. She felt like part of it was too wordy, and that's
Yep.
exactly what you're talking about, is making every word count and keeping it concise and to the point, but also fun. And I think funny, for me, whenever I read a children's book and it's too serious or it doesn't have multiple tones in it, I get bored.
Yeah.
And so when I did my research and I read to my kids when they were growing up, of course, and I think the thing now is just really funny, fun characters who make silly mistakes but human mistakes, and then you can learn something. So also, learning something is a good idea.
And the craft of writing is obviously important to you. You have this initiative, You Think,
Yep.
which is a teen writing competition. Is that what the best way to call it?
So
or-
there's a competition, but the actual writing, it's really a writing workshop in Ireland. You Think is going to be the teen writing workshop that I'm sponsoring in Ireland at our property at Kilkea Castle, that is going to promote writing for teenagers from 13 to 18. So the competition is just to sort of get people motivated to hear about it, and also whoever wins is going to get all expense paid trip with with their parent or guardian or whatever over to Ireland.
I
for the
just
workshop.
turned 19. I'm so frustrated. I just missed out.
You don't look a day over 14.
Oh, I know. Well, I behave like that. But that's exciting for, a young writer who, a lot of times it's meeting and having inspiring people to look towards and people that you can read and be, enchanted by. And then, obviously you start to become who you hang around with, and that's really neat, How many people do you expect to be in that competition?
Well, in the competition, I'm not even sure. I mean, I imagine we'll get 100 some, I'm not sure. But for the actual weekend, the capacity would be around 150.
That's really cool. So we're gonna have your book for sale at our booth, and
Awesome.
we're hopefully gonna get you to come back maybe later in the week.
Yeah, I'd love to.
As the Marshfield Fair continues on and rocks on, and I mean, you're a busy lady, so we're excited to have you at all.
I'm so happy you asked me to be here because I love the whole festive feeling, and I've never been to this fair, and the fair is awesome.
If you love giant pumpkins
and
there's
giant
something-
giant horses,
giant horses, and
and
giant fried dough,
and 4-horned goats.
there really is one.
There really is one.
So Christy, thank you for coming by.
Thanks for having me.